This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by our good buddies at Squarespace. Turn your great idea into a reality with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project, whether you're showcasing your work or selling products of any kind. With beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything, you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. And if you do get stuck, their award-winning 24/7 customer support is there to help you. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code GRACE, G-R-A-C-E, for 10% off.
Hey, Jack Ferry.
Hi, Grace Helbig. How are you?
I'm well. Welcome to another episode of Not Too Deep.
Thank you.
This is very exciting. We have lovers, friends, mothers, fathers, comedians.
Married couple.
We have a married couple of comedians that are absolutely goddamn fantastic.
I am so pumped about this episode because I've been a fan of Natasha's for years.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the funniest comedians alive, in my humble opinion.
We have Natasha Leggero and Moshe Kasher. Lots of shush in all the names going on today.
Yeah, it was really cool because I wasn't as familiar with Moshe before I knew they were going to be guests, and I watched their Netflix special, and man, that special is so unbelievably funny, and I'm a huge fan of them both now.
Yeah, and we get to pick their brains about creating the special, about being on tour together, being comedians, being now recent parents, which is just nuts to me and disgusting in so many ways.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about, we get into a little bit about whether or not Grace would want to one day.
Okay, Jack, ready? Here's a quick fun exercise. Clear your mind.
Okay, cleared.
Ready? And what's the first word that comes to mind when I say childbirth?
Gross.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I mean, if I'm being honest.
Here's the good thing. You'll never have to do it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, congratulations.
I just stand in like the room with all the dads with the
Is that still a thing? I feel like that's such like an old 50s Mad Men-esque thing that they all stand there with cigars and stare like at the zoo animals that are newborn babies.
Right.
Finding out which one's theirs.
I mean, I'm kind of like you. I don't really have plans to have babies. Not that I'm opposed to it like
the great
diametrically.
Like the great, leader of our generation, Justin Bieber, once said, "Never say never."
He did say that. That's true.
It's, I think, the name of his documentary.
It is.
Which, another recommendation for a great comedy if you guys want to go watch it. It's pretty great. But I think Natasha and Moshe have talked about it before, that they also kind of have that same mentality, and then it happened, and if you're in the situation that's right, it happens, and there you go, out she came.
Sure. So do you think about that more now?
I mean, maybe sort of, but not really.
No, you don't feel like the what they call the ticking biological clock or anything like that?
No. I don't hear that like Jaws clock.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'll be totally honest, like not to get too deep, but there are times when I do think like I understand it on a certain emotional level. Where it's like, yes, I understand that desire to sort of pass on your DNA or pass on like lessons that you've learned to a new generation because, at some point I won't be here anymore. And so I understand the pull, but then I just think of like, yeah, but man.
Get a dog.
Feels like a lot of work.
Get a dog and then see how get your motorcycle first. Take care of that thing.
Believe me, I'm working on it.
And then feel how you go from there. The dog has been a big eye opener that I am in no way ready. I can leave my dog in my house. I've said this before. The yard is her toilet. I don't have to change her diapers.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. Have you ever changed? I've never changed a diaper.
Yeah, I did. I did when I was growing up. Yeah.
Wow, you seem really like you.
I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't.
I don't ever want to meet someone that's a fan of changing a diaper in my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing appealing about that side of it. But the other thing too they always say is, once you actually have the kid, you feel differently. You feel differently.
See, I think I would love to just like birth out like a 25-year-old like woke
adult
person,
human.
and then I realized I just need to get more friends. I don't need childbirth. I just need to get some more companions and peers in life.
And I think the other promise of having kids is you get to shape and mold that person into the woke 25-year-old you want.
But that's the most terrifying thing ever is that they have free will. They can act and do whatever the goddamn fuck they want.
Yeah,
and
true.
You can't control them like a video game.
Yeah, it's true. And that must get very frustrating.
Well, let's talk to two people that are dealing with it firsthand.
Okay.
So let's just jump into this interview with Natasha Leggero and Moshe Kasher, two of the most hilariously, I want to say woke, but I feel so stupid saying that word, but like hilariously woke people that I've talked to in a very long time.
Yeah, it's really great. Hope you guys enjoy.
Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
Guess what, Grace?
I have a guess.
Let me hear it.
Squarespace is sponsoring this episode of Not Too Deep.
Yes.
Whoa, I'm a genie in a lamp.
Yeah, that was easy to predict because they have been our buddies for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Squarespace, for continuing to sponsor our show. Thank you for also making a service that makes it easy to create your own unique and wonderful website.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if you are going to start a business or you want to showcase your work, if you want to publish content, if you want to sell products and more, Squarespace is the tool for you.
They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything you'd like with a few clicks. You can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself, and I can attest to this because I've done it multiple times using Squarespace.
Yes, they have a powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online and analytics that help you grow your site in real time.
And everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box. There's nothing to patch or upgrade ever. And buying domains is simple. You'll get all the help you'll need with their 24/7 award-winning customer support. Now you understand why Squarespace empowers millions of people, from designers to lawyers to artists to gamers, even restaurants and gyms, to turn great ideas into something real.
Restaurants and gyms to Jack Ferries. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com. Offer code GRACE for 10% off.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by our new good buds over at ZipRecruiter. Hiring used to be hard. You have multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process. But today, hiring can be easy. You only have to go to one place to get it done, and that is ZipRecruiter.com/Grace. ZipRecruiter.com/Grace. ZipRecruiter, listen to this, sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. Those statistics are nuts. And with results like that, it's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the highest rated hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners, you beautiful, beautiful humans, can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Grace. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Grace, GRACE, ZipRecruiter.com/Grace. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I try to do jokes always with politics.
Well,
but
I looked through this morning. You curate a very balanced timeline on your Twitter that is a healthy mix of like comedy and like conversation.
But even the politics stuff, I try to make it funny. Like there's a third thing. I think it's actually when people get a little too famous. Then they go, oh, I don't need to do jokes anymore. I'll just like scream about, Trump is bad. And it's like, yeah, but.
Yeah, because how much, and we're going to jump into this if that's okay with you guys. Because that's a thing that I not deal with, but something that I think about sometimes is like, you have a platform, right? You have an audience. So like, what's the balance of like feeling like you need to use this platform for conversations like that versus being like, here, let me just joke about having a child right now.
Yeah, well, I guess like the contemporary political climate also has like swallowed everybody's consciousness whole. Yeah. So I honestly think like a lot of people are complaining that comedy's gotten too political and that every comedian thinks they're a political comic now.
Sure.
Which is true, but I actually think it gives short shrift to the idea that people aren't even aware that they're doing political material. We're just so swallowed by the news cycle.
It's the biggest thing that's happening and you guys have to talk about it.
Yeah.
It would be weird, I guess, if you didn't talk about it at all whatsoever.
Do you not talk about it?
I talk about it sometimes, but pretty minimally.
You don't retweet something like...
Oh, I'll retweet things from people that I know are far more educated about something that I'm not. And so I come at it from a standard that like I am not fully, in the know about everything involving this scenario. I have my moral standards, but what the world provides, I think, just educate yourself as more of the message that I try to do.
And also it seems like from what you're saying is you don't feel like you should tell anyone anything.
Yeah, I mean, form your own opinions. I mean, it's, as cliche as it sounds, it's just like find where your moral compass is, and hopefully it's on a good side, and then go from there.
My moral compass points straight North Korea. It's always North Korea.
Wait, so you investigated his Twitter and thought he was political. Did you look at mine?
Oh,
do you
of
have any
course I
notes?
did.
Too much self-promotion?
No, yours is great. I mean, and that's the question I was going to ask you guys too, because as a couple now, you are individual comedians, and then now you've sort of marketed yourself in this couple realm. Do you?
We're not even romantically linked, to be honest.
Right, I know. This is.
I just thought it was a good gimmick.
Yeah, this is the greatest act of all time. And good luck keeping it up.
Our
guys.
daughter is going to be real upset when she finds out.
Can I just say this is the first Bloody Mary I've ever had that doesn't have ice?
Oh yeah, I don't think we have ice here. I didn't.
No,
even
it's
think
okay.
About
It's
that.
just very funny.
No, but
It's a very funny way
you
to
should
drink.
change the name of your podcast to Hot Bloody Mary.
It's just called soup in a cup. Is what it is. It's really.
Boozy soup.
Yeah, we got gazpacho. We spike our gazpacho. Is there anything that you guys have with each other, safe word style, that you're like, don't tweet that, don't post that, or are you just very encouraging of each other?
That's why I married Moshe, is because when we first met, I was like asking him, oh, do you mind if I say that thing that we said?
Yeah?
And he was like, oh, I never care what you say on stage, ever.
Oh, anything goes on
And
stage.
he's always
Really?
reinforced it too. So, he
That's
just
great.
he can't get offended.
I can get very offended. And I am
but you can
constantly
still be
very
supportive.
offended. but when it comes to the stage,
Yeah.
I think that's
We
sort
call
of,
it the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our, we call
Have
stand-up
you
comedy
time traveled
the
from the
stage.
1920s to be here today?
As a person in the arts, when it comes to the stage, no. I'm just saying, like on stage, anything goes, because that's the sad byproduct of dating a comedian. It's like it's unfair to know so intimately what the comedian's process is, which is
Sure.
that you're just like strip mining your experiences to create material, and then
Right.
to say to your partner, "Oh, but that's off limits."
But that's what I thought in your special that came out in April, so everyone should go check it out. It's on Netflix.
watch that.
The
Yeah.
Honeymoon Stand Up Special.
Yes, the thing I thought you guys did so well, because it's you guys each have your own individual time, and then you bring couples up for, like, I guess couples counseling in a way, in the loosest sense.
The loosest.
During the tour, we called it live relationship counseling.
Yeah, and it's you guys do a really wonderful job of balancing when someone cuts a little too deeply into someone, of like the other one being a little bit nicer, and like
Right.
making sure that they know that you're not just shitting directly on them.
My favorite moment was when you were like, we're not real couples.
Yeah, which is my question. Like, how many times? Because you guys toured with this, and you had so many couples that you saw through so many states. Like, how many times did it get a little too real?
Well, there was one time where we brought up this guy, or we brought up the woman, and we were all having fun, and then she brought up her husband.
Well,
and
the way it would go is that we would ask each partner, like, what's your pet peeve? What's your
Right.
pet peeve? And it was really mostly a roast session. I mean, it wasn't, really a counseling situation. And then this one woman,
yeah, she was just dropped it on us like, he doesn't understand the role of father.
and we were like, this feels pretty big.
And then there was just like silence, because sometimes it's like she puts too much salt in the rice. I've been wanting to tell her.
There was another one where one of the first ones we did where the woman was like, she was really upset that he had gotten her a gift, and it was a vibrator, and we were like having so much fun with that, the
Yeah.
salaciousness of that, and then it sort of like we unwrapped it a little bit, and it was like, oh really, this was about like their kind of dead sex life, and like him buying it in this way that wasn't like, this will be a fun thing, more like, I'm horny, let's get this vibrator buzzing, and that also felt like that felt really intense.
Wasn't there one where the girl was more? Oh, I don't know.
Well, the one in the special too, where I think he throws his wedding ring on the ground.
That was really
I don't want to
bizarre.
give too much away for people that haven't watched it yet. But I watched that and I was like, you guys do a very good job handling it and moving them off the stage as quickly as
Well,
possible.
also anyone who's going to get up on stage,
Yeah.
it's not like we're forcing them.
Sure.
So they hopefully aren't too.
They understand what they're getting
destroyed.
into.
There was a lot of fun
emotionally.
ones. There was another one in Miami I'll never forget. And for some weird reason, our hotel gave us a bottle of rosé, and
That's
you don't
sweet.
like rosé, and I don't drink, and so we brought it to the show. Like, maybe we'll find someone that wants it.
Sure.
And we were going through the couples, and there was one couple, and we look over, and one of the things we realized early on is like the more demonstrative and enthusiastic the couple is when we ask, the kind of worse the situation's going to be.
Yeah.
So when they're just like me, you're like, it's going to be.
That's a red flag.
But this guy did it. He was like me, and then we watch him, and he might as well have been doing rhythm gymnastics down. He was 18 years old, and she was 18 years old, and he was just like, hello, and we were like, hi, and we asked the girl, like, what's your pet peeve? And she's like, well, he's just like a little dramatic, and like he's just such a big Adele fan and everybody in the audience is just like, oh, okay. These are 18-year-old high school seniors.
Oh, no.
Shoot.
And they're both going to New York to go to college. That was like the big reveal. We were like, oh, you're going to New York to go to college. Oh, I think everything's going to work out for both. You guys are going to...
New York will figure it out for you. Don't worry.
And like the whole audience, it was such a funny example because the whole audience is like in on this. Wouldn't even say it was a joke because you had to kind of be gentle.
Of course. It's
he,
not your time to have his moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the right choice to just be like, okay, so he's gay.
Yeah.
You don't know that yet. And I don't even know if he knows that yet. So
he wasn't ready.
Yeah, so we were kind of like gently going like, well, this would be good when you get to New York. You kind of like explore yourself a little bit.
Sure.
And then in the end, we were like, we do know who the rosé should go to.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Oh, man.
How is it traveling pregnant? I can't imagine doing anything pregnant, let alone trying to tell
I can't
jokes.
even imagine being pregnant.
No, me either. Children are not a thing. Yeah.
You don't want to have a kid?
I don't know. I'm not going to say no for sure, but I do know that my instinct is no.
Mine was too, and sometimes you're like a situational breeder.
Right.
So if like the situation is right.
Right.
At some point in your future,
That's
maybe
what
you'll
I feel
decide
like.
to do it.
Yeah.
Or not. I mean, that's
Or
a
not.
legit choice too.
If my
Right.
situation were different, I probably...
What situation?
Like if I hadn't met you.
Oh, that's nice. Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
I want
Let that
I want a
breathe for a
baby.
little bit. Okay, but how was it traveling and telling jokes? I mean, because you talk about this in the special a little bit, like just being a female in comedy is nuts and weird and hilariously like terrible sometimes. But then being a female pregnant in comedy must be a new level of weird and terrible.
It's not like I'm going to open mics.
pregnant. Like I gotta get up. I gotta get 5 minutes.
You know, but yeah, it was fun. You know, well, I guess it was fun for me, especially because, you know, when you're a comedian, you need things to happen to you, so you have something to talk about.
Right.
And so being pregnant, there's like a lot.
A new world opens
Yeah,
up.
exactly. So it's more fun to write because you know, you're getting new experiences every day.
Totally.
And also sometimes for me, comedy was like about being uncomfortable. You know, like I'm in this terrible situation. I live in this awful, you know. I don't know.
You mean early?
Yeah,
Earlier in your career. Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about now. Yeah.
You know, it was, things were harder.
Yeah.
You know, so now it's just nice to have things to talk about.
But it was hard, right? I mean, touring was hard.
I mean, physically, that feels like very demanding.
I imagine touring is difficult when you're not pregnant.
Yeah.
You
It
add
was
that.
for me. It was fun because I was with Moshe.
Okay.
and
Oh,
he would
You
like.
should try touring with me. You'll love it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you'll love
I mean,
it.
if I was on the road in 8 months pregnant, you know, without my husband, I think that would be really hard.
Yeah.
The interesting
But
thing.
he did everything.
Did I?
Perfect. There you go.
Well, he like, you know, helped me.
I did what I could. Yeah.
You lifted a suitcase here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
The special, actually, the day that it was taped was the day before the last day the doctor gave us permission to travel. So it was
I was
literally.
going to ask about that because you talk about too, like your baby started to learn to hear in the womb
Right.
during
While we
the
were
special.
roasting
Yeah.
it.
Well, that was one of the jokes from the
While
special.
you're
but it
just both telling it that you didn't want it.
Right. But it was literally true. You get these email updates when if you sign up for these, like, you know, what is it called? The bud or whatever weird
I don't remember.
pregnancy update thing.
Yeah,
And they'll be
yeah.
like, your baby's the size of an endive today.
Yeah,
Your
my friend had that. Yeah, that it's like, no, it's a watermelon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A watermelon. Your friend needs
Yeah,
to give
she-
birth stat.
Yeah.
Now
That's the
it's the
one you
size
get.
of a small
She's
calf.
stubborn.
That's the one you
She's
get
stubborn.
after your due date. That's what comes out.
She wants a fall baby.
Yeah. Your baby's the size of an adult. No.
Get it out.
But it will also give you developmental updates. And and it literally was true that like just about like in the final stretch of our tour, it was like, now your baby can hear your voice in the womb, and we were all like, like Natasha's opening joke is like, hey, hold your applause, I'm still in the abortion zone. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's
But
great.
I'm still shocked how much I like the baby.
That's what I was gonna ask. Now that the baby's out,
Because I didn't really think I would like it.
well, that's my fear is that postpartum and the whole situation of being like, oh gosh, now I have to.
Oh, I don't like taking care of it. I just like her.
There you go. That's good.
like a
She's
person.
a peer already.
Yeah. Like,
She's a peer. Yeah. She's very verbal.
I mean, I'm excited for her to like stop acting like a baby.
You see her potential,
Yeah.
and you support it.
And
That's-
it makes me happy.
yeah, women supporting women.
Yeah.
But also, when I was pregnant, I didn't know she would be cool. I was like, what? She could be like a monster or like dumb. I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know she's not dumb. We can't know
She
that
doesn't
yet.
seem dumb.
She doesn't seem dumb, but she's a baby.
yeah.
She
Do you
seems
guys
like
what-
she's not dumb?
That's knock on wood. I mean, that sounds very hopeful. Do you guys see or worry about like what's the worst personality trait that she could pick up in your opinion?
Oh, murderer.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
not a personality trait.
No, but I
That's
will
a
say.
hobby.
Okay, here's
I will say when we found out she was a girl, I
Uh-huh.
literally had my first thought was like, cool, she's not going to be a rapist. She's not going to be a school shooter. She's not going to murder us in our sleep.
Wow.
She may date a goth kid or a gangbanger that will come and murder us for her, but like the odds of her doing it directly just exponentially go down.
You just huge sigh of relief.
It's a crazy, that's a
but
depressing.
what a weird but honest initial thought to have.
It was true. Was like, but and then the sad part is, but I am going to have to teach her about rapists and about.
Yeah.
But you even having that thought now with her being as little as she is so much more important than like later on, like her an accident or something causing the effect of you having to teach her.
Yeah,
I'm
that is
excited
true.
that she's going to be a woman.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
It's
she,
her choice.
as long
Right,
as she
as-
chooses,
as-
whatever. I'm just glad that she has to.
She's right now in a political minefield. Can you guys feel it listening
All
at
I'm
home?
saying is, I'm glad I didn't have a boy.
She stepped out of the minefield.
Okay, well, I just think it's going to be an interesting time to like be. I think
Yeah.
it's just fun
And to be
for
you're
women.
a strong woman in entertainment, which, like I said, is hard to do. So
I think
to
it's
be
going
able
to
to
be even
like,
easier for her to be a woman, and I think that's an exciting time.
that's super exciting. And in line with what you guys do with couples on stage, talking about pet peeves and things you love, what is the worst trait of each other that she could pick up?
That's so great that you asked that because I was just about to ask him that.
Right. Murderer. That's what.
Murder- okay,
yeah,
That's a
what.
deep question. No, she's asking you which of your traits do you hope she doesn't?
Oh no, I was
Oh.
saying each other's because you make people talk about each other's pet peeves on stage. That like,
Oh,
what's
I see. Okay.
for
What's a
Natasha?
trait?
What's Moshe's pet peeve that you hope that she doesn't pick up?
That's a good question.
Oh, that's an excellent question because I already know the answer.
Let me
okay.
guess. That has something to do with cupboards.
I just really hope that she's not messy
Oh, okay.
because I just feel
Messy
like,
in a dirty way or messy in like a cluttered way?
like she can never find anything and
Disorganization.
very disorganized.
Okay.
She's not going to be a guy.
So,
So she should be okay.
I just want her to be neat,
Okay.
and tidy, and help me pick up after things.
There you go.
Like
So
I
you
want to
just want
help.
Okay, so then like a more positive light, what's the best trait she could pick up?
Ooh,
Of
thank you.
Moshe's,
Yeah.
there's so many.
Oh, thank you.
I would say his brilliant sense of humor.
Oh, thanks.
Because I want her to pick up his intelligence and his humor together.
All right.
That's really sweet. Okay, so let's get back to the negative. Moshe, what's the worst trait that she could pick up from Natasha?
Ooh. Geez. I don't know how. I thought this was not too deep.
No, it's evolved over the years. We've been doing it 5 years.
It's now called too deep.
I can't ask people how many fingers they would want to be hot dogs for that long anymore.
She's just going in.
I gotta do it for myself.
There is a thing that Natasha does that where all of a sudden there will be like 4 large furniture movers at the front door with a big piece of antique furniture, and I'd be like,
You hope you hope our toddler doesn't buy antiques.
and I'm like,
Or, I'm sorry, our newborn.
why are these men here with a chaise lounge? And she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm putting that in the directly in your bedroom. You didn't know about
So
that?
you hope she's
It's
an
a
IKEA
solarium
girl.
now.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so then best quality.
From Natasha, I think what we're talking about is I really am hyper conscious of the fact that that I'm thinking a lot about women and girls and also boys right now, just in having a newborn girl. And like, there's a lot of messaging, and like, you're a very powerful woman and you're a very powerful woman.
Thank you.
A very powerful woman as well, I would assume. But I the message of that the world tells little girls is like, sort of be quiet, be shy, be demure. And like, Natasha's so gregarious.
I
so
scared babies with my laugh.
Yeah, so glamorous, so loud and powerful that I know, I hope, and I know that she will get that trait from Natasha, and she will be like a dynamo, and that's what I hope.
What if she goes the other way?
It's possible.
She rebels against her mom's
by being super
courageousness.
demure.
Yeah, I don't want to talk. Oh God, who is this girl?
I mean, okay,
She wants to get her feet bound.
Yeah. The time is now.
speaking of being like that courageous, you did a spread for Hustler magazine while you were 8 months pregnant.
Let's not use the word spread because it wasn't.
I mean,
Honestly, I didn't realize
you did some
Photo shoot.
art pieces.
I didn't realize Hustler was like that. Like, I didn't know it was like spread open. Can you swear on this?
Of
Yeah.
course,
You're
yeah.
a pussy. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be.
Well, you're
But you didn't do that.
No,
you got
I
to
know.
clarify.
But
So I mean, I did. She's like, so I mean, I did it, but I was like, very uncomfortable.
they sent me the magazine, and the magazine, like, I had to look through so much like spread
inspiration.
open pussies to get to my piece.
Natasha's
Yeah.
is like PG-13.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I saw
I'm just
it, yeah.
like in my living room.
That's why I was like, oh, maybe Hustler's image has changed. That this is like, they're funny and like tongue in cheek about like how gross they used to be.
No, they were like, you can pose however you want.
Oh, that's fun.
So
So
I
you
was-
chose like just no cooter shots directly.
What's a cooter?
It's where Frida came from.
It's just a cute.
I've never
way to
heard
say
anyone describe it as a cooter.
You never heard cooter?
Really?
Cooter.
I like
it's my
it.
favorite way to call a vagina. It just sounds cute.
What
it's
are some
your
of
cuter.
what are some of your least favorites?
Mine's
like
vajayjay.
flaps.
Oh,
Fake
flaps.
JJ.
Yeah.
But JJ, you hate on an aesthetic level, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard Andrew Dice Clay describe it as a slice.
Oh
God
God.
damn it.
Yeah, that sounds that.
Well, I'm just trying to
hurts.
think of what's the best and the worst ways to
Tom
describe it.
Stoppard in Woodpecker or whatever called it a peach fish. I thought that was nice.
Wow, that's descriptive.
He also called it carnal embrace, so he also
Sex.
is sophisticated.
Yeah, he's a sophisticated.
Yeah, that's some great
Still
We are
adjectives.
like it.
always
Woodpecker.
talking about
Who,
Tom
Tom
Stoppard.
Stoppard?
As you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we are from
At
the
our
stage.
Hello.
Okay, you have 3 dogs in total.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
what's the baby versus dog scenario now? Do they get along? Is it weird?
We just don't like them anymore.
Okay,
Oh, no.
Are they upset that you guys have shifted your attention?
Well, there's one of our dogs. 2 of our dogs are just like the kind of like grateful to be here types.
Right.
You know?
Also, I thought you guys only had one dog and was photoshopping it multiple times in your photos.
They do
'cause
look
are
similar.
they all the same breed?
No, but well, yeah, they're all white chihuahuas.
They're all
Okay.
white Chihuahua street dogs. Street dogs.
Gotcha.
But one of the dogs, Natasha's dog, my dog is
They're
like
all from the street, though.
yeah, but my dog is like a prison trauma case.
Okay.
You know, he's just like
Like he
Yeah.
was just about to get executed at in San Francisco at the Pound,
yeah,
and then
we
Moshe
res-
came
we-
in.
we- I don't think they call it execution.
if he's a prison dog,
What do they
It's a
call
little
it?
tiny electric chair instead of the phenobarbital.
his last meal.
But
Waiting for a call
honestly,
from the governor.
I'll have kibble. Yeah, who's the governor of
Steak.
dogs?
but you see
Air
why they picked him.
Yeah, so he's just like I said, grateful to be there.
Okay.
But her dog Mayor Cutie is like somehow a show dog that was found in a dumpster.
She's half Lhasa Apso
Okay.
and Shih Tzu and half Shih Tzu. So she also has some Chihuahua.
Okay.
And she's
But
like
she's half purebred.
and straight up, all dogs are like half or some
No,
part.
but we got her
purebred.
DNA tested, and like for 6 generations on one side, they're all
Oh, you did the
those
DNA test for the
long-haired
dogs?
Shih Tzus.
Well,
Those are expensive.
So she's like a bit of a bitch, you know? And
So she
That
knows what
explains
her
it.
breeding is.
yeah, and she has an IMDb page, straight up, not a joke.
Oh, wow.
She was on 3 seasons of Another Period.
Right. Okay.
And she definitely knows it. And so she's a little put off by the baby. Like, I think
She's upset that the spotlight is shifted.
That's right.
Okay.
And a little confused.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
like, what's that lady in Sunset Boulevard?
Norma Desmond.
Cut away from me.
I'm still big. It's the pictures that got small.
Exactly.
But now you have a full household, which must feel a little bit nuts or fine.
It's nice. I mean, it is nice.
It's pretty fun.
I
And
wanna-
we have a nanny.
Right. And I want to talk about the nanny for a second because you guys weren't able to be here last time because Nanny was missing.
Right, Nanny went missing.
Nanny
no.
went missing.
What happened to
We were all
Nanny
very
go pop.
concerned.
She got executed.
I had been watching a lot of true crimes documentaries at the time, and I was like, we got to find out about the nanny. Where is she? What's going on?
That one was actually weird because it was an hour and a half of straight up missing Nanny.
Here's my question. How do you choose a nanny? What's the process of this? Like, how do you go, I trust this thing I just like had in my stomach growing?
It's pretty simple. You find a group of people that are willing to do the job,
Yeah.
and then you ask each of them what their hourly rate is, and then the lowest one. That's what you choose.
Okay. That's,
Moshe.
No. How do we choose?
Moshe was like, when she was 2 weeks old, trying to like go on, Craigslist to find a sitter.
which is where they're all hiding all the good ones.
And I'm
Just
like, I
deep
think
on
we need to
Craigslist.
like meet someone, spend some time with them, make
Yeah.
sure that we trust them.
But then they did the FOSTA Act or whatever, where they took down all the sex worker ads, so we weren't able to find anybody on Craigslist anymore.
And they're
unfortunately.
taking my misconnections, so
That's
you can't
right.
get in on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
either.
yeah.
Bitch looking for
You, Nanny, qualified. Me. How do we pick her? I don't know.
Grace, you have a good laugh.
Oh, thank you. I scream laugh. It's from my dad.
It's a dynamo thing, though. It's good.
Thank you.
I like it.
I enjoy when people laugh, so I feel like it's a gift in a lot of ways. I'm sure you guys get that feeling when you're on stage and you're like, why, guys? You all chose to be here in the audience. Why not make any noise?
No, I don't know
Well,
what
because
you mean.
not everyone laughs.
What are you,
Yeah.
what are you describing?
Have you ever been to a bank? I mean, it's a
You
very-
perform at banks?
Yeah. It's real sad.
Wells Fargo's a trip, though, right, guys? What do you do for a living? Oh, I know what you do. You work
I
here at
just
this bank.
stand by the ATM. It's really, really great. But there must be stuff now. I don't want to I have a ton of Twitter questions that we're going to get into that are more about like comedy driven stuff. But for you guys being a couple that does comedy, do you have a project that you'd want to work on that's like a dream scenario? I'm sure the special was something that you guys are obviously proud of and like was a cool thing to do together. But is there like
I think like down the road, we'd really like to do a travel show
Oh, yeah. We
And,
do have
like,
an idea for a travel
travel.
show.
that's a great idea
with our baby. And like, because whenever we travel,
Have you taken the baby on the plane? How old?
we're
can
about to go on a 10-day RV trip with the newborn.
I got full of anxiety for you. By
I know. Moshe was like,
association.
we haven't been on a vacation in a while. I'm like, this sounds like a dare. Because there's so much stuff you have to bring.
Yeah.
Like,
I
'cause
mean,
she can't fall asleep unless she's being bounced on like an exercise ball.
yeah. What's the dumbest thing you've bought for the baby so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. Dumbest thing. Oh, Natasha, 3 months before the baby arrived, bought a hairbrush. And I was like, the baby.
Like a baby
needed
specific,
it.
like a
I was
Barbie
like,
brush.
the baby's going to be bald. They're all bald.
No, Moshe got mad because I prepared for the baby. He was like,
you did
yeah, he's like,
that
we
it's
can
gonna
just
be a human
yeah,
when it
he's
comes
like,
out.
we can just go online as we need stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to be in survival mode.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to be like Googling what's the best hairbrush to buy or not have like Tylenol on hand just in case.
It has been a
right.
bit of a Jack Spratt and his wife type of situation because like my whole orientation with the baby is like, let's just chill, let's not stress, and then she's got like, what do they call it, motherly instincts to
Oh,
protect
right,
the
yeah.
child or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I actually think it's a good I think that's a good balance in a relationship, is that one partner should be like, let's not stress, and the other should be like, okay, let's definitely pay attention to every detail, so that you can then kind of find a baseline of
And then
non-anxiety.
that baseline, we dictate it to the nanny, and she does it.
And she does it. That's good. Yeah, third parties.
Speaking of hair, though, I will say I was pretty impressed with how much hair our baby had at first. I was like, oh, we kind of got like a nice, like,
Yeah.
you know, and then this Asian couple walked by.
Oh,
with Their
no.
child had fucking lamb chops, a pompadour. It's a 2-day-old baby.
Because they let you do a stroll around the hospital.
Yeah, wait, what?
Beautiful.
What? They
just-
let you do like a baby parade for
No,
your
no,
child?
it's like when you have a
It's called the hair
C-section.
comparison.
When you have
what
a
we
C-section,
made.
you're in the hospital for like 3 days. So
Right,
so
right.
to get exercise, you roam around the halls pushing your baby, and then other people are
Which
pushing
is
their babies.
literally what little girls do with fake babies
Right.
and strollers.
I know that Asian family was just walking their child around the hospital, but it did feel like they were showing off a little bit. It definitely felt like, look at this baby and how perfect it's hair. It was unbelievable.
Did you guys, because I've seen the baby on Instagram, do you guys have a like how much or a little you want to post about your child kind of scenario, like unspoken rules of like, we gotta keep her offline a little bit?
Like she might get recognized at a playground.
Like it might go to her head. Yeah,
TMZ might like
I
be
saw
hanging
she
out
doesn't have-
outside of her Jewish day camp.
she doesn't
Ask
have,
her for her opinion on.
Palestine.
and she's probably more well spoken than so many others on TV right now. But she doesn't have her own Instagram, which honestly I felt a sense of pride for you guys about.
I was actually going to not do any pictures.
But then she was so cute. You couldn't
It's
tell.
not that she's so cute, because she is so cute. But the thing is, what I realized is that no one cares. Like, I realized that with watching, there's some comedians that always post pictures of their dogs. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, you love your dog so much and you think it's so cute that you think everyone else will go like, oh, that's so cute. But they don't. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a dog.
They do with Mayor Cutie.
But if you can do, my rule is funny. If I can find a funny picture, I'm
Right.
down. If not, I will. I'm never going
Those
to
are
put
your
a,
standards.
I'll never put a picture up that's just like, look at this adorable child.
No, it will never be any sense of sincerity at all whatsoever.
It's not what my Instagram's for. Right? Sincerity's for the home.
Sincerity's for just Alexa to hear in the background in your house. But also, congrats, you did get a cutie.
Oh, thank you.
Because sometimes they can come out not cute.
That's true.
And you guys got a good one.
You know what helps?
A scheduled C-section.
It's scheduled. yeah.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we have a bunch of Twitter questions for you guys that I hope that you will be obliged to answer. So we'll be right back with Moshe and Natasha. Yay!
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Flex Fits. Did you know that products you use to manage your period can sometimes make issues like cramping and bloating worse? Well, Flex is a life-changing new product that completely replaces tampons, pads, and menstrual cups and gives you the most comfortable period of your life. Flex can be worn for 12 hours, is easy to change on the go, and allows you to live like you're not on your period. It's not a tampon or a cup. It's a flexible disc that fits perfectly inside your body. Once in place, you can't feel it at all. It's a truly innovative product that can relieve cramping, works against leaks, odor, and irritation, and allows for a mess-free period sex session. If that's something you're into, Flex is a completely body-safe product. It's FDA registered, hypoallergenic, and made without BPA, without phthalates. I'm learning to say this word correctly, if that means anything to you. Latex or silicone. It's the only internally worn product that's not linked to TSS. Celebrate! Have the most comfortable period of your life. Go to IHateTampons.com now and use promo code GRACE to get an additional 30% off your first purchase. You heard me right. Use promo code GRACE at IHateTampons.com for 30% off. Flex, IHateTampons.com.
Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Tomboy X. If you know me, I've talked about this a billion times. I'm a sports bra, comfortable underwear kind of gal, and they fully understand that concept. It's time to stop wearing underwear that doesn't make you feel confident, underwear that has more frills than function, underwear your mom got you to fem you up in some sort of way. It's time to wear underwear that's made to fit you and how you see yourself, and that is Tomboy X. They have everything from bikinis, briefs, boxer briefs, trunks, and boy shorts to soft bras and racer back bras, all in everyday basic colors and fun seasonal prints and size options from extra small to 4X. So regardless of where you fall on the size or gender spectrum, Tomboy X offers amazing underwear that anybody can feel comfortable in, and I can attest to this. Their products are awesome, and you've heard me talk too much length about the fact that I am proud about being a sports bra gal, and they are trying to make that world more accessible and exciting and comfortable and confident in its own way, which I am fully behind. So go to tomboyx.com/Grace and check out their special bundles and pack pricing. Not Too Deep with Grace listeners get an extra 15% off with the code GRACE, GRACE. Again, that's just the code GRACE, GRACE, for an extra 15% off. Ditch whatever you're wearing for a pair of Tomboy X underwear. Go to tomboyx.com/Grace.
We're back. Okay, before we get into Twitter questions, I'm going to ask you guys the two questions I ask every single guest that's been on the podcast. And the first one is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Okay, classic question.
Yep. This is as political as we get.
Chef Boyardee.
Oh.
I feel like he would appreciate that, you know? Maybe Mussolini to make it a little more poignant politically.
Sure.
Cold spaghetti.
Christopher Hitchens.
Okay.
Christopher Hitchens.
Because he said women aren't funny?
Yeah, it'd just be funny to throw spaghetti at him.
But it'd be funny,
even though he didn't mean it or whatever the thing is.
And he's like, this is your answer to women aren't funny? You throw cold spaghetti at me?
You just carrot top me with this prop comedy right now.
Well,
You've
she
just
said
proved my point.
it would be fun.
Yeah, that would be
Super
fun.
fun. Okay, the other question I ask everyone is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or like close call, but you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases.
Okay.
So mine is college jogging front lawn.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mine didn't happen to me because I'm a lady,
Great.
but it happened to someone else.
Okay,
so.
you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to say that story.
Only 3 words?
Or
3
three
words
small
or
phrases.
3 small phrases or a mix.
Second row comedy show.
Oh, no. Okay, well, no follow-up questions.
It was an old
Jeez.
man.
I mean,
And he stood up and was like, and then his like brother-in-law was like, he just shit his pants.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Life on the road.
Yeah, the glamour of it all.
I heard a great story that a girl once told me that she was at a party. She was so drunk and trashed that she walked outside to pee, and then she was like, oh no, I'm gonna shit. So she shit. She's outside. People are seeing it. She shit, and she's like so embarrassed that she goes into her purse to grab. She needs toilet paper, and she has a book. And she's so drunk and embarrassed that she just rips pages out and starts wiping. And it's the end of the book. She was like 2/3 of the way through, but she like grabbed the wrong side of the book. So it's like,
But also, like, what a specific noise to not draw attention to yourself, just ripping pages out of a book.
Oh God.
I've never been that drunk.
well,
That's
I
a
know.
bad sign.
Yeah.
You're shitting outside of an establishment.
If you think you're going to take a piss and then it goes
You should
awry.
never drink again.
Yeah.
Right. That's yeah. I don't know. Car not gonna make it. Made it.
A success story.
Yeah,
A story of
right,
triumph.
right.
God bless. Okay, so now we have some Twitter questions for you guys. Jaquito wants to know, is there any specific joke you guys cut because it made the audience too uncomfortable?
Oh, that's interesting. Good question.
Yeah, because, I mean, how much time, you guys do 30 minutes each and then you do like 30 minutes together, but how long are you taping for the whole time?
Pretty much everything that we did
Made
got
it.
in. But the time where I would always lose the crowd is I had a joke about getting an abortion or no.
The opening
the-
of your set?
No.
Like, what?
Because that killed.
No, when was it? There was something that didn't get a laugh. Oh, maybe the Freegan thing when I would say that,
Shrimp or baby arm?
yeah, when I would say,
Oh, right.
Because you guys shot in Texas?
In Austin,
In
yeah.
Austin. Why there?
Well, we when you're getting ready for a special, you're like reserving good markets. I feel like, you know,
honestly, it's kind of because of that reason you just said, because they're not too politically correct, so they will laugh kind of at everything.
and we hate PC culture as a family.
No, but they don't be
Yeah.
afraid.
That's your religion. Yeah.
Every
like, you
night
don't
we
want
talk
someone-
about the ills of PC culture.
No, but if you have stuff that's a little dark and you're in maybe San Francisco,
Sure.
people are afraid to laugh. That would
Sure.
that would kind of be bad.
So you kind of knew that that's just a good audience.
Also, that venue we had done Natasha hosted and I was performed on a South by Southwest special that
Okay.
had taken place at that venue during South by Southwest.
Oh, cool.
And so we knew that venue had like good kind of energy,
good vibes.
Yeah, and
Also,
so
kind of an anniversary for
yeah,
you guys
kind of a
there.
thing.
That's sweet.
So it was either there or Seattle, and in the end, I think Texas just won out.
I was just looking for a short flight
There you go.
because I was 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I love
That
Austin.
makes
It's one of my
total
favorite
sense.
It was
cities.
great. We did
Yeah.
the next night. We took an extra night. We were staying at one of Natasha's favorite hotels, and we're so stressed out. There's so much pressure when you're doing a special. And then so
Yeah.
the next day we went to this restaurant we were really loving, Austin, and then we saw that there was a big screening of Titanic. And Titanic, the
What?
film from 1991 or
Uh-huh.
something.
Sure.
So we went and watched Titanic in the movie theater, and it was a very nice.
With,
seems like
with
very
Mayor
cute fun.
Cutie.
With-
'cause
Yeah, she was there.
She was on tour with us. She had a little part.
That's right.
And she hadn't seen the movie, I'm sure. So
I
it was-
hadn't seen the movie.
You had never seen Titanic?
No, and that's
What did you think?
It's good.
Yeah, it's undeniable.
Does it stand up still?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the end,
Especially-
it goes fully upward. Yeah.
But you guys have seen, I mean, now that you've seen it, you have to go look at the memes online. I think BuzzFeed did it of like all the variations of how Jack could have fit on the wooden raft with her at the very end. It's like people actually laying on the floor showing you exactly how big it was.
To answer
Chiquitas.
Chiquita's question, there was a joke in there where I talk about my mom a lot in the special,
Right.
and on the road I was doing. My mom super doesn't care about anything I say on stage, but she's also deaf, and so sometimes she's reading a translation, and so things can be taken literally. And there was a line that I said because I keep saying like my mom was great, she was awesome, and then I go, oh, I don't know why I keep referring to my mother in the past tense, and people, she's very much alive. People would laugh, and I go, I guess I just wish she was dead. And it was a joke that worked on the road, but then I just imagine my mom reading that and not
Reading it literally.
and just not being able to translate the sarcasm of it. So I did cut that out actually.
Did she make any mention about the special? What was her review?
Did she see it?
I don't know. Yeah, I bet she saw it. I mean, my mom is like, there's no like that was inappropriate. It's just like, oh, my darling boy. Oh, what beautiful. I love the honeymoon special so much.
Oh, that's super sweet. Has there ever been a joke separately on the road that you guys have been like, oof, that one really bombed?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure you bury it deep down and don't
Yeah,
think about
I
it
can't
ever
remember.
again.
It was a car not going to make it, didn't make it.
Got it. Got it.
I have a question. So you converted to Judaism before you got married, and you talked about that in the special. What was that like? Grace and I we grew up Roman Catholic.
Yeah. I went to
Me
CCD,
too.
got all the sacraments,
Yeah,
and then
ditto.
like skipped out on it.
Yeah, and so we're just
mean,
now
why would you stay?
Now we're just non-practicing Catholics.
No, it was the weirdest because my
They're
parents
called
got
lapsed Catholics.
Yeah,
Yes,
my
we're
parents
lapsed
got
Catholics.
divorced, and my mom would still, because of like Catholic guilt, would take me and my family, like my brothers and I, to church every weekend. But then she couldn't receive like
The sacrament,
communion
yeah.
because she was divorced, and like in the eyes of the church, like no longer allowed to. It was the weirdest thing, and I remember just being like 10 years old, being like, "What the fuck is going on? Why can't she eat this gross stale cookie?"
Which is not the kind of language priests like when you say that.
Not at all.
What the fuck is going on?
I know.
Why can't my mama eat this stale cookie?
I know, and then I found out my younger brother was gay, and it was a whole nother level of this religion's weird.
They're like, you really can't eat this
Yeah,
stale cookie.
yeah, you
but
really
if you
shouldn't
come
be
over here,
here.
you can come on it.
I mean, as growing up, you guys grew up Catholic. Don't you feel that we're kind of evolving past Catholicism?
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently the Pope is
sure.
cool.
But that is true. That is true.
Yeah, the
He
new
is.
Pope.
Which I
But
think is
something's
important.
going to evolve because people, your mother was a single mom. My
Yeah.
mom too. Like they're looking for something. They hope they can find some strength.
And
But,
she was also raised super Catholic. She has like 8 brothers and sisters. So it's just this thing that's like ingrained in you. It's like almost cultish in this way. And then you like start to have self-awareness about the world and yourself existing in it. And then you're like, This is weird.
Well, look, I, just as the non-Catholic here,
Yeah.
I will say that of a lot of the Christian religions, there's a lot of real backward stuff in Catholicism, but there's also some really like inspirational parts of Catholicism that other Christian sects don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, liberation theology and the stuff that the priests do with like the poor in South America is like compared to like the anti-immigrant fervor of American evangelical Christianity. I'm kind of like, even though I get how traumatic Catholicism, I've seen the documentaries,
Sure.
but there's something about those liberation theology people in
Yeah.
South America. It's like, these people are revolutionaries, and at least there's something about Catholicism also like being anti-death penalty. I've always thought like there's
That is
something cool in
interesting.
that
And also
theology.
Christianity in general which Catholicism falls under, obviously. It's really about like, I mean, the main thing is like turning the other cheek. So I think it's like it's a very peaceful message if you really do study it. And Judaism just feels a little more intellectual and like you can ask questions. Like I felt like when I was in Catholic school, you couldn't ask any questions and everything was just how it is. And then it sounded so stupid.
Yeah.
That you're like, I can't be a part of this.
Yeah, and to Jack's question, like the process you guys were saying in your special seems pretty arduous to convert to
sure.
Judaism.
19 4-hour classes.
It's not a joke.
crazy.
Yeah,
It is.
it's really intense.
And is that true that men have to get recircumcised?
That is true. Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
That's why the class was all women.
it's true.
Because they don't have to do anything.
Right.
Crazy.
Just carry babies. and that whole
Recircumcised is
thing.
probably.
I know that actually they do have to do that. Those are the tenets of Judaism: keep Shabbat and have a baby.
Yeah. Look for bargains. Recircumcised wouldn't be the exact right. Well, it's like if you are an American male, chances are you're already circumcised. So if you decide to convert, then you have to do like a ritual, like bloodletting situation on your dick. It's pretty. It's kind of like, wait, what? It's very difficult for an outsider to hear that and go, wait, this is like a spiritual tradition? Like, how? Why?
Right.
I'm so glad we didn't have a boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because you'd
that-
have to make that decision. And
I am too.
That's so
Oh
nuts.
yeah.
What
That's
would you have done,
crazy.
Moshe?
I can't. I would definitely have circumcised him, but by myself at home.
But we're
Just Pinterest DIY. Get it?
also what's funny is traditionally the mohel does like really bad jokes too. While he's like,
Really?
They're always funny.
they're always like
They're
bad
not funny, but they're always like,
comedians.
Like-
cracking wise.
and then they're there to, and then don't they
Cutting
have
up in
to
more
like
than one
bite
way.
it too?
There's some weird tradition in
What?
ultra orthodoxy that I honestly don't understand this and don't want to talk about it.
You don't have to.
But it's something to do with like making the blood flow with their mouth. I don't really understand
there's
it.
also
Wow.
the women eat the placenta of the baby
That's
after?
right.
Never
Yeah.
understood that one either.
Lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna. Did you do that?
We have lasagna like every Wednesday.
Like you have Shabbat and then lasagna.
I did get my placenta like made into pills, and then Moshe rolled his eyes so hard at it that I never
You got
really
it
took
made
them.
into because
They pulverize it and then put it into pills.
And
to
I
make
gave
it-
him like $500.
And our friend,
and then
our
Wow.
friend does smoothies, so she didn't have it pulverized. She like had it like, oh, I can't even.
Moshe was so grossed out by it that I just threw them away.
It's disgusting, and it's also pseudoscience. It's not real.
what I don't understand the like the origin.
The
of,
logic is
I
that
had some friends say that put them in a very good mood.
sodas
like
and
Indian.
alcohol and cocaine
right.
and like
Yeah.
10,000
A good
other
record will
things.
do that.
Or
it's
that
either
it made
Led
them
Zeppelin 4 or lasagna.
No, but they said it made them not have the depression.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm sure there are other benefits
okay.
that I didn't really pay attention
Pure,
to.
Sure.
pure pseudoscience. The idea is that the placenta, and this is true.
You
it's
don't
like,
think circumcision is pseudoscience?
I don't think it's science. It's not even pretending to
Right,
be.
right.
But no, the placenta is like the nutrient provider to the baby, so it's like the
Right.
barrier of some like all the
So it's
nutrients
holding
flow.
like the omega amount of nutrients.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so then you take that and you make it into a pill, so then you get those nutrients. But they've studied it, and it's not.
Take a
it's not-
multivitamin.
Yeah.
You haven't read all the studies.
I've read the one that said that it's unsanitary and unhealthy. That was enough for me.
That's all I need. And shut my laptop and put it away.
No, it's actually forward it to my wife, shut my laptop, and push it away.
He also forwarded me a great study when I was pregnant, a Jamaican study that you could smoke pot while you're pregnant.
But it was Jamaican. It was kind of funny that it was Jamaican.
So I used that study. I would always read that and be like, I think it is okay.
Yeah, all I need is one website to tell me my bad behavior is okay,
Yeah,
and then
right?
it's A-okay. What was the Google search that led you down that K-hole to get to that website?
Well, I was on Special K.
Okay.
And, no, I don't know. We were talking about, because there's no research about pot, actually.
But also there must be an insane amount of just baby carrying research in general to sift through, and I don't know how you even figure out what's true, what's fake.
Well, I was just telling Moshe that I like hanging out with other moms right now because I just like steal what they do.
Yeah.
They have
You're
this
like-
toy that's like the baby. I'm like, because I don't know how to buy toys.
Yeah.
I don't know what the baby wants. And then my other friend said, just Google games to play with a 3-week-old or a 3-month-old. And
Sure.
not 3-week-old, like 3-month-old.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any instincts for it. I'm just
not
like,
for that sort of thing.
and they say you have to constantly talk to the baby. So it's like awkward.
so you're doing your own podcast at this baby
Kind
every
of.
day.
And
all
it's like,
day.
6 a.m. So you're kind of like,
So-
you don't want to talk. And they're bored.
You're just on a bad date constantly with your child. That sounds wonderful.
I found Googling in general, I was trying to discourage Googling in general when it came to the baby because I read in this book, that book Bringing Up Bebe, which is about like how people raise their kids in France versus how they raise them in America.
Is it dramatically different?
Oh, it's crazy different. And
Okay.
I'm like, I guess I'm French. And-
Parisian mothers don't carry Cheerios around in their purse for their
Right,
kid.
it's
Like the
less
kid has to
coddling, right?
wait.
Yeah.
The kid has to wait for lunch.
yeah. And they
And
give
So
that's
you
them
don't
why
have
they're
like
so-
Cheez-Its and like
they give them like Herbes de Provence or whatever.
in courses, like
one
4
thing-
courses.
One thing they said was that the American attitude toward everything to do with the baby is, here's a thing, I need to find out if there's a problem with this. I need to actively search if this is dangerous. And the French thing is the opposite. Is like, I will just give you the thing until I find out.
Until
that-
a problem presents itself.
or just like we realize this is dangerous.
Yeah.
But we're not like constantly searching what's dangerous, which is to me.
I am.
So they're a little less worried then all the
yes,
time.
It seems
I mean,
to
that's
me.
not the
Yeah.
only difference.
Yeah, but that was the one that.
the primary difference.
That was-
and that makes sense. I mean, I feel like the Western culture has a state of just like something is problematic, something's offensive, something is
What's wrong? I got to find something that's wrong.
Yeah. I
I
have to
agree
be
with your
upset about-
sentiment, but I will say France is a big part of Western culture.
I
That was supposed to be a big laugh for us all, but it felt cruel and
You're like
bullying.
challenging the, you're bringing
I'm
up
like,
her.
my dad was a geography major. He's gonna be so upset. He loves this podcast. He's gonna be so
realized
She's
pissed at me.
remembering her C-
well, I just
in
realized-
history.
Yeah, all my
As it-
daddy issues just flooded to my head.
As it
and
came out, I was
remember.
like, this is bullying. I'm being a bully. Okay.
Okay,
Your dad listens to your podcast?
not at all. He
Oh.
he watches Sports Center, and that's as technological as he gets. He knows how to turn on the TV in the middle of the night when he can't sleep, and that's it.
Aw.
But he's a sweetie.
Paw.
Hi, John Helbig. I love you.
Me too. I love
I
you,
think my
dude.
dad might listen to all my podcasts.
Yeah.
Does he?
I mean, he hasn't talked to me about it, but I feel like he might.
My dad has never listened to one of my podcasts because he was deaf and he is dead. So thanks for bringing that
There
up.
you go. There you
Wow.
go. Wow. Two of my favorite
right.
qualities in a dad. Posh Country Club wants to know, does Mayor Cutie have any weird habits?
Told you she was famous.
I know. I'm like, we got
Yeah.
a lot of Mayor Cutie questions.
Is weird bad? Because most things
Or just,
about
like,
her are cute.
Unique qualities, I would say.
Tell her the one non-cute thing.
The one non-cute thing she does is she starts humping.
She does
and then
this-
she gets close to the baby sometimes.
Yeah. It's thrusting. It's very bizarre.
It's like a weird thrusting.
She's a woman. She's a woman dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is she thrusting like she's fucking? It's so weird.
It's honestly, now I'm embarrassed. We said that.
Why? She's a dog.
My dog, I have a dog too, and she's a lady, and she just sometimes, like, she only recently when she gets too excited about something does she just start air humping like almost nothing. That I'm like, what are you doing?
It's weird. What
Well,
do they?
bring a baby's head
That's what
into
I'm
that.
saying. Like that looks like you're watching just a cartoon bomb with like the lit candle end is like getting closer to the bomb. What do you do?
I think you kick the dog off the bed.
Someone wants to know, okay, I have a question about this. Do the people at the Two Wheel Inn love or hate their newfound fame?
Good question.
Because this is a place you talk about in the special that sounds like the most majestically terrible place
It's my
on
brother's
earth.
motorcycle bar. It's called the Two Wheel Inn in Rockford, Illinois.
In the special, you read a bunch of very specific reviews of it.
Yeah, they have a Facebook page. I think I haven't visited it, but I think they did mention in the on the message board that I talk about them.
Not good or bad. Just mention that
I think
they've been
they
mentioned.
liked it. I mean, it's a little bittersweet because the thing I talk about in the special is they all get together there when someone gets murdered in the city, and there's a lot of murder happening. So it's also kind of
it's a little bittersweet.
Yeah, it's like a pub trivia night.
Yeah, bitter in the murder, but sweet in the murder. So.
Sweet, and the community rallies together.
But I had never been to a bar like that before.
It sounds nuts.
I walked in at like 5 o'clock, and it was like full swing pool, ZZ Top extras. Like a woman fell down on her stool right next to me, and like I couldn't get out. And like her cigarette was, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. Her cigarette was still hanging out. And then I remember the bartender was like, "Barb fell again." Like that's the kind of place it was.
I mean, why can't Barbs get their shit together?
But honestly,
needs
what
help.
a great way to spend like a late afternoon.
And also, truly a testament of like, hold on to what matters to you. Keep the cigarette in the mouth. That's really strong. Matthew Wells Shag wants to know, or he's demanding, ask them to bring back Tubbin with Tosh.
Okay.
That is he has good taste.
Yeah,
We
I've
have
seen it. It's really funny.
We have a talk show on your network, YouTube.
I've heard of Papa YouTube, yeah.
Papa
And
YT.
it's called Tubbin with
PYT.
Tosh.
That's what that Michael Jackson song was about.
Yep.
PYT. It's about Papa YouTube.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
That's
Yeah,
right.
truly.
He knew everything about YouTube.
Yeah, he
He
founded
was a
it.
huge influencer.
Yeah, he was a social media influencer. Lots of Snapchat followers.
We actually almost did some Tubbin
We
with
were gonna
Tosh when
do
I
a
was
season-
pregnant, and I just couldn't get it together. I was just like,
That's okay.
I was too pregnant. I felt awful.
Yeah.
I started to like not want to move.
No, I mean, like putting yourself into a hot tub and then like
Why? What's wrong with that?
while you're that pregnant feels like a lot to ask
I
yourself
hear
to
you.
do.
No, you thought that would be the funny part, was that she'd be pregnant, but then eventually reality hit, and we were like, we can't do this.
They were like, oh yeah, we have a baby growing in
Yeah.
the belly.
But
that
we're
we-
going to do it
Maybe we will.
soon. Hopefully.
Good.
Ooh.
Maybe we will. We'll see.
Keep it vague.
Well,
So no one gets
I'm
upset.
not being like Hollywood. We don't have any plans on
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it at
yeah.
this particular moment, but we may.
Well, you don't. You got one guy that's demanding
Okay,
it. So
well, let's do it.
The audience is there, guys.
Popular demand.
This was a fun response to asking for questions. Shut the fuck up. I love those two fuckers. Ask Tasha about the armless drive-through story and ask Moshe about his deaf parents' shenanigans.
You shut the fuck up.
The woman that's a story I used to tell in my stand up about Rockford, where I'm from. That there was a story that this woman went through a drive-through and she tried to pay, and then the girl at the drive-through was like, "Oh," and the woman didn't have arms. She was driving with her feet, and the woman refused to give her food. She was like, "Girl, you ain't got no arms." And then they wouldn't give her fast food, and she like called the police, and that was a news story.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's a miracle that she got through to reward her with her food. My God.
Girl, you ain't got no. But what a crazy thing to not give her the food. You think she
That's
doesn't need
what-
to eat?
You work at a fast food restaurant.
And
You're
she
not
can
allowed
drive
to
with her feet, so she'd probably been working up an appetite.
It wasn't a Flintstones car.
I just mean, think of how exhausting it is to go through your day without arms.
I can't.
And yeah, this is F. Ken P. Mays that says, shut the fuck up. Ask Moshe about his deaf parents' shenanigans. I mean, you talk about it in the special a bunch.
There's a lot of shenanigans.
Lots of shenanigans.
I was thinking of one just the other day. We were talking about my mom. There's a lot of weird. There's a kind of ignorance around deaf people that people don't really know because you're not privy to that world.
Sure.
Like you'll go to a hotel to check in, and they'll realize that your parent is deaf, and they'll give you the hotel manual in Braille. And it's like, yeah, that's not
Yeah,
going to
nope.
work here because she is not blind.
Yeah, the ears are the ones.
And one time we went to this national park. We were going to camp, and the ranger said to me, my mom's driving. She said to me over my mom, "Now, can your mom read?" And my mom, I told my mom what the ranger said, and she wrote a note and handed it to the ranger. It was like, "Can you?" And I thought that was pretty gangster. Yeah.
Oh, I love the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, my brother's half deaf, and so it's
Which ear? Just kidding. I mean,
no,
that was
literally, I should know this, but it's wherever he sits down next to me is his good ear. He sits first, and then you sit wherever.
His whole life he's been deaf?
Half deaf, yeah, like since he was in like first or second grade.
Does he use ASL, like American Sign Language?
He can hear.
No, he can hear a little bit, but he always gets, and he's really funny and has such dry humor, but people think that he's a bitch because he's like can't hear half the things people say, and so he's like not responding to people ever.
Oh,
I think he has a bad
hard.
attitude. He should get tattooed on the bad ear. This one doesn't work.
Yeah, out of
Walk
service.
How old is he? Because kids are getting face tattoos now.
Oh, yeah, he's 20,
Perfect.
30.
Perfect
He's
zone.
2030?
He's 2030.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, 30 is a little old.
This is how close my brother and I are. I know very vague sort of things about him.
He was born in 1980 or 1990.
One of the years back there. Someone said, amazing, just watch their Netflix special. They are the best.
Aw.
Ask the classic, where would you like to find a piece of ham in a hotel room?
Is that a classic?
You guys tell
we
me.
can ask that on every podcast.
When I ask for questions for guests, I get a lot of bizarre questions that I assume are specific to the guests. And if they're not, then cool.
What's the ham question?
Ask
or
the
ham
classic.
classic?
Where would you like to find a piece of ham
I've heard
in
that
a
question.
hotel room?
I've heard that question before.
But what does that mean? Because so you're going to
if
eat
you,
it?
Like if you had to find a piece of ham somewhere in your hotel room, where would you want to find it?
I know where mine is.
Where?
Well, we just watched this movie, The Lost Weekend, and he's an alcoholic, and so he's always trying to find his alcohol bottles. But the coolest place he hid it was out his window with a rope. So that the person comes and like scours the whole place and can't find it. And then as soon as they leave, you take that rope out and you eat that ham.
Yeah. And because I love my family, I would like to find it inside of my wife.
Okay. Wow. That's very sweet.
Isn't that nice?
On that note, we've reached the end of the podcast. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. For people that don't know, where can they find you guys online? Where can they find your special? Where can they find you touring?
Specials on Netflix. I got a bunch of dates.
It's called the Honeymoon Stand Up Special.
And the two of us. I got a bunch of dates coming up. I got stuff, Seattle on my birthday. I think that's going to sell out pretty quickly because it's a teeny little theater, but I got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Cool.
MosheKasher.com.
Cool.
And the special is I do a half hour, he does a half hour, and then together we do our live relationship counseling. So it's a 3-part special.
3-parter.
But they're it's the length of a full special.
Got it. Yeah.
You'll love it. Check it out. The Honeymoon Special.
Yeah, come see. Oh, I'll also be in Montreal at the Just for Laughs Festival. And I
Nice.
think I'm going to Salt Lake, and I'm
And
doing
I'm
a bunch
staying
of
home
fun
with
stuff.
the nanny,
That's
trying
right.
to get to know my kid.
Yeah. Fun. Well, we give every guest that's on the podcast a specific fortune cookie
Oh,
just for
cool.
them.
Oh, yeah.
So we made you guys a specific
Hold on.
fortune that.
Do we do this?
Whoa.
nice.
ASMR, get that.
Let's see. Wow, this is so long.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's
You will find yourself inexplicably inside an IKEA.
Wait, we have the same fortune?
the universe decided this.
You will find yourself inexplicably inside an IKEA, but somehow make it out with 0 5. I would never go to IKEA. This is like the whole point. Like I have an assistant who just does IKEA.
That's why it's inexplicable.
That's all she does. I do everything else, but I had to hire someone.
She's called Lady IKEA.
Honorary. It's an honorary photo of you two.
What a jerk you are. You're roasting the fortune maker.
I'm mad because I just getting
the
thinking
very
of,
idea that I would go to an IKEA.
No, have you ever been to IKEA? The line you have to wait in
Oh yeah, but they also
to buy
have-
your stuff.
Yes, it's a
I love
weird-
IKEA, but I hate going there.
It's like the cantina scene in Star Wars when you go into IKEA.
It's worse than
Honorary
that.
photo of you two will be put up by the Swedish Meatballs for achieving such a feat, and we should be honored.
Honored. good. You should be honored.
We should be honored for such a thing.
Yep.
Are the meatballs good? I heard they're good.
They have,
they're so good.
yeah, and they have vegetarian ones now.
Oh.
That's
You
how
know
Los
what?
Angeles' IKEA has got.
I'll go to an IKEA. Go
check it out.
Why not? I mean,
She
they
hates
do.
IKEA, but she loves meatballs.
No, you know what? I love IKEA. I'm going there this week.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having
We'll
us.
see you guys on another episode, but not too deep. Goodbye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
This episode of Not Too Deep has been sponsored by Beyond Meat. This summer, step up your grill game with the revolutionary Beyond Burger. This mouth-watering masterpiece is the only plant-based burger that is so meaty, it's sold in the meat case at your local grocery store. It's packed with protein, it's better for you and the planet, and will satisfy even the most ravenous of carnivores. Are you ready to taste the future of protein? Visit beyondmeat.com/grace to find a local retailer near you. That's beyondmeat.com/grace.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated.
Produced and directed by Jack Ferry.
Producer Melissa D. Mons.
With writing by Diane Kang. Audio support by Chris Henry.
Editing by Melissa D. Mons.
And an extra special thank you to Flula for the theme music.